Truly not that I wanted to this for something like this to happen, but the people from United Nations and the people from European Union Court, Germans and white Americans, and everybody was so worried about the outcome of this case. They just truly did not know how to screw this as much as possible. I missed British royals when I mentioned people. And so, from what I see today, they won't have to worry about from now on. Because I put it plain and simple, everything in writing. First, I posted this message here, and for the secondary message, I've chosen this one here. So it's a message to United States of America. I think it's about the proudest message that I ever posted in my life to anyone, and it is the message I will follow through. At expense of Germany, at expense of white Americans, at expense of white people worldwide. You're gonna pay for this. You're gonna pay for it. At expense of United Nations as an organization, as whole, at expense of American civil rights, liberties, justice, Department of Justice, actually, racial equality, racial division, civil rights division, I should say. This video I have dedicated, however, to the outcome of this case, for which the United States of America government officials have with their white partners from throughout Europe, Australians, Canadians, on general, white people came to conclusion that the best thing to fuck me would be to simply email me as the first response once I would apply with every organization, every human rights organization, as well as government departments such as Civil Rights Division from the US. It would all start to collapse for me, beginning with civil rights decision, civil decision from Civil Rights Division. During MK Ultra, it was established by a black individual from United Nations that if I ever would do, and it was coordinated there with some male, white male from United States of America, because they negotiated with the people from United Nations, and they came to conclusion that if I would make a mistake like the one I'm about to demonstrate you here, as a mistake right here, you see, this was intended a message. I made a mistake, and it's a lot of people that does a mistake like this, because I know so, because this black individual who now already have a secretary, the secretary is white. This is a black investigator who was involved in this stuff. He stated to me, I think he's from Africa, he stated to me that if I would get something like this on my table, that would mean that he would give up on the case. He would step aside from the case. And he literally negotiated with Antonio Guterres this particular crime with American State Department of Justice when I demonstrated you on how they would counteract if I would make a mistake like this, because this is not a serious mistake. This is not a mistake at all, but it's the way to misinterpret crime, or I should say genocide, to further genocide against victim through a clause which, before you submit one, before you submit complaint to United Nations, you have to acknowledge that you are not at present in receiving assistance from anyone in this world, basically, that you don't have any internal or external agencies assisting you, etc., etc. However, United Nations did act with attempts to murder me in the past and have, instead of investigation, engaged together with the Slovenian government, Central Intelligence Agency, Federal Bureau investigation in extended crime procedure. So at no surprise when I submitted a complaint to United Nations in 2007, I found myself almost killed, basically hanging on the edge of the road bank at the place called Hell near Trebnje. Right after I submitted complaint to United Nations, I was called in the face of the local interview. Local company, the interviewer, owner of the company, called me a traitor, and just a few days later I almost got killed just for going fishing. United Nations is no standard for the human rights of any kind. The complaint I have submitted to United Nations absolutely did not violate any charter from United Nations due to age of the case. This is, in December, I'm going to be 53 years old. And not only United Nations criminals have engaged themselves in extermination procedure together with the Slovenian police, for the sake of Slovenian police, and in complete agreement with the Slovenian police for their own sake. You know, it wasn't only they negotiated genocide against me as a final outcome of this case, because that's what they wanted me to sign, the findings of the Slovenian police. Whatever Slovenian police would furnish them is what they investigated and were prompt to see as and demanded for me to see myself in to finish this case. Otherwise, as Antonio Guterres and even British royals such as King Charles now guaranteed me I would never bring the case to an end. Yeah, this is the way they did this stuff. No, United Nations further have used me on their missions throughout the world for anywhere to collect the money for the, like so-called the charity money, the silence, hush money from royals, from all kinds of donations, and have used me for a very dangerous tasks throughout Africa, through the war zones, in the Middle East, in Asian part, Afghanistan, really dangerous occasions where people who traveled along me feared for their life, but were protected because of the size of this case. So they profited from within financially, and they profited from within through other means, issues I mentioned. Plus that they got to investigate all kinds of crime around the world, crime which was not even a crime, and it was like in the case of, I don't know, Kazakhstan or whatever, let's say, it was just maybe customs. It was just national customs, let's say, for people of Kazakhstan to have brides kidnapped and stuff like that. It was nothing that would, nothing necessary that would go into the category of, or crime or whatever. But it's just that they started to pressure down on the governments to criminalize even certain customs and so on. That was used for $1,000,001 issue to investigate, let's say, sailors' debt, fishermen's debt in Thailand, Indonesia, etc., etc. Poor working conditions in India and other countries around the world and so on, China, all kinds of issues. And so I'm sure that you understand what I am talking about. Following to the response to which Donald Trump personally was looking forward to, because not only Donald Trump, but also King Charles, Germans, Americans, engaged in a background talks. They engaged in a background negotiations also in respect to my case on how to do the stuff with me. What I was told for the first round, you're going to get from everybody negative. So the answer I got from United Nations, it was expected to get, I didn't get one yet, but it's supposed to, within maybe hours, maybe day or something like that, the White Secretary should be writing me a response in complete agreement, basically, with the U.S. Justice Department. The same likewise answer. So what you see here, I have made a mistake. I prepared the update for the U.S. Department of Justice, Human Rights Division, which they also demanded from me to do in case I would upgrade the complaint, in case I would add anything important to the complaint, and I think I did. They demanded from me to simply refer them to the case number and include the test, and maybe if you have modernized your complaint for investigators so they could take less effort in understanding your complaint, what complaint is all about, you would just update them. You would send them an updated information on where to turn for, updated complaints. So, because it's not one person only that investigates this kind of stuff. There are several people that will work on this kind of stuff. That's basically the way it goes, this stuff, right? So now I will never forget this white guy. I have to see these politicians. They already know why exactly I'm talking about. Must be somebody from the U.S. Justice Department. Or there was a politician, this individual. I think he was a politician. I think it was not only, or maybe I have seen one so often. I yet have to see that stuff. There's a white guy. Actually, the guy was from the U.S. Justice Department. He looked somewhat like it's not going to come to me, but I might in continuation take time to play with this stuff and go maybe on a facial characteristic stuff like this, like I did with the lady from this U.S. Justice Department, to suggest you who this guy was, what he looked like. I think this was a head of the U.S. Justice Department system. Let me just see. US government officials 2018. If I can get something similar. At least so I can tell you what more or less this guy looks like. I think I shouldn't even bother myself with this stuff because, yeah. I think this individual has glasses, and facially, if I was to look, he would look like this guy, except that this was an old man. He was about probably in his 60s, this individual who was preparing me. This type of nasty, I think this is about as nasty as he gets. This is so ignorant that I've not seen anything as ignorant as this here. This is, and they selected to do so because it's based on the ignorance. It's truly a short answer, isn't it? You contacted the Department of Justice on November the 10th, 2024. After careful review of what you submitted, we had decided not to take any further action on your complaint. Wow. I don't think there is anything else I can say. I mean, yeah, you did very carefully review this stuff, and I'm not saying you did not. That's why I have provided you with this thing here. I don't know how much this here is going to make you happy about it, but I too have prepared myself, and it was this talk show guy. They had these people, all kinds of philosophers and so on, involving this, what to consider, how to view this stuff as, and so on and so forth, who figure out that actually something like that is all kinds of stuff that's possible. They're gonna go and do this stuff like this and so on. I think that this is the type of answer that he feared from. Obama, however, was the one who was thrilled, excited, truly happy about what you have seen. I have just read to you in 2 sentences as an answer from U.S. Justice Department of State. Obama was certain there's nothing to worry about. This crime goes well over 10 years. In 2014, and as the next answer, in complete agreement with United States Department of Justice, it should come from United Nations, from the OHCHR petitions. I was told, if you will do something like this, therefore, if you send this to the wrong address, it's going to be immediately the answer that's going to come from the U.S. Justice Department of State, because United Nations people told me, we will contact them. They literally negotiated this with me during MK Ultra. We will contact them to either give up on this, or we're gonna give up on this. This is the way it is. Now, today is November the 15th of 2024. This case is still being resolved. This case beginning the October the 30th was truly, as far as what this was all about, it was so complete, so with the proofs supported, everything included in it, so investigated by none other than myself, that I will feel truly disgusted to allow some shitbag to negotiate, trade, even extort me for the sake of his political or her political agenda, views on the world or how the world should be and this and that. No. My 92-year-old father, whom United Nations have, together with the US Justice Department of State and European Union, this here is sicker than sick stuff. This issue here too was negotiated with me. The video that I posted to you here about the European Union, this also was involved in it. This is also the stuff that was involved in it. This is the stuff, talking to myself for 2 hours and a half, going, I do believe I had not crazy, trying to submit a little fucking complaint to European Union Commission. This stuff was negotiated with me as something that they're gonna do to make the whole thing look. Germans did that stuff, and I was so specific about it. Do not fuck with this case anymore. Do not waste my time. Do not steal my seconds. I don't know how more I could be specific, clear about it. Yeah, they go for the murder. They go for the kill. They go for the same as in Americans, the same as United Nations. They go out there to murder you, to kill you, to steal you any second they can steal. They want this to be like that. They don't want to understand. Demanded for me to acknowledge this here as a form of help, to see myself in some kind of Russian conspiracy, how somebody who would anticipate would complain to Strasbourg, Brussels, whatever these idiots are, would do something for me, jam the complaint together with the Slovenian police that were explaining me this stuff, so that it would look more like a conspiracy against me and stuff like this. When in fact the whole thing was enforced by the Central Intelligence Agency, Federal Bureau of Investigations, Germany, German Bundestag, German government, together with the Russians, Serbs and others who did not mind to get me killed, using Slovenian police. Now you can see right there even, but that's, I guess, the only thing that I get from the Germans is this here, and the fact that the Google Maps did not work for some time. Seems like they are in conspiracies, not solutions. But if you get to murder someone for long enough, I guess you resolve the case, or his death, I should say, through the conspiracies. This is what Germany is all about. This is what German government is all about. This is what British are all about. This is what the world came now into. This is what the world came to. So I don't have anything else to say. That according to this here, this is United Nations that's going to be the next one in line who's going to submit me. See, I did this yesterday, right? You can see right here, I did this yesterday. And today is November the 15th. Today. But if you look at the response, when did the response came? It still came on the yesterday. So it came almost simultaneously with my turning myself to United Nations with the idea to update the complaint, upgrade and update the complaint. It's when United Nations acted against me by informing US Justice Department of State to give up on their investigation, which, yes, according to MK Ultra's scenario, they did just hours apart. So that's the way, basically, this is the way they enforce that stuff. That's how they wanted to do, that's how they wanted to have. As for Slovenia, Slovenia is not even, I did complain to the Slovenian government about this. Slovenia is not even competent to investigate genocide procedure against itself. That's a bunch of horse shit. Complaint I sent to the Slovenian departments did so to inform them about my enforcing the procedure against Slovenian state, and will not allow without complaining first also to them. For a psychiatric procedure to simply go against me. That's all there is to it. Slovenia is free to do whatever Slovenia will do. I don't give a three fuck about what Slovenia does or Slovenia does not. But Slovenia is not competent for this to resolve this stuff. Slovenia will be watching this from the distance. This is at most cooperate with a foreign external investigations department's prosecution. Yeah, that's about as good as it gets for Slovenia in my lifetime. The third option, however, is from International Criminal Court, and that option which I have also applied for can be seen here. What we're gonna do is this, so I don't have to go. Is it not going to? I already did talk about this stuff. This was the prosecutor Karim A. Khan, who also visited me inside of this house with presented me his complaint. It was the most logical of them all to me personally, because the only thing he did was he sit next to me and he showed me something that European Union have deliberately self-miserable, failed itself, self-sabotaged itself. In just about 2-3 minutes he was done with demonstrating me, and it's an easy thing, really easy thing to do. Right entry, this, that, thank them and bye-bye. That's all that is. Whatever it is that you need to submit, simple, short, concise, and efficient. This is another option. As far as this option, I'm just going to say we're going to see about that. That's International Criminal Court. And I don't have anything else to say. Accordingly, with a crime against me is, well, we'll follow up against you. As for United States of America, I will simply not allow this administration to come even to place. I will not allow this administration to function as a government of the United States of America. This is a beginning, but it's going to be a clusterfuck end for United States of America as whole. You see, the people of United States of America have decided. I was going to go and show you the map of United States of America, but everybody can do that. Racial. Let's just go racial. Or better than that is going races. I like that better. Races in USA. And you know, I know you know, there is not only about the races. U.S. Justice Department of State, Central Intelligence Agency, therefore, is making sure they would not only get black people in it, white people in it, Asian people in it, South American people in it. They also get people from North Pole. In the South Pole, I think there are no people, but they get bears. Whatever they get. They make sure that they get people from every fucking country in Earth inside of United States of America. That's what I was used for. They recruit them throughout the world. That's what the CIA was using me, and make sure that they get not only black and white, but they make sure they get Nigerians, Ugandans, practically you name it. Croats, Slovenes, Serbs, Albanians, people from Luxembourg. Is there like anything? Maybe people from Vatican, people from San Marino, people from what's the smallest country in South America? They don't have anything small. Everything is quite big there. It's not about Costa Rica or Panama or whatever. Venezuela even less, or Colombia only. They get every nationality inside of the United States. And they do so they can spy on people. They can do so, they can engineer all kinds of issues inside of the countries. Like when it comes to this case here, they had the ability to racially profile and also ethnically profile people. Like you go target Central Intelligence Agency, targets somebody from Romania. They'll go and they'll target people with somebody who will, they always look facially to profile people. And when they want to approach to somebody, they use certain facial characteristics of their people to approach to that person, to hire one for the job. The same shit is with the politic. They use their people from their countries to approach to whatever country they try to make change or whatever they are trying to impose. And then they go through those people, through those channels to enforce the stuff. If it's about Croatia, you're going to get the Croatian people from the US. Same shit, Slovenia or Hungary, or Italy or France or whatever country, except not Britain. No, not Britain, not. Vice versa, yes. Britain from the US, not. Don't ask me why, you know why. China, the same thing. Brazil, the same thing. Russia, the same thing, etc., 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 etc. And so they figure out if we also get the people to lie, kill, therefore, they will be able also to steal. And no wonder when it comes to my case, you have all the racial backgrounds, including the black and white, Latino and Asian, I should say, everything in between, stepping together and try to impose control a little to the crime, negotiate with other nations, negotiate with other countries. Issues even that are not pertaining to my case, but they came to the solution that if they all work together as one, they profit the most collectively as a nation. This is the strength of United States of America. And according to this criminal recipe, because they're not going to go, because American conscience is so criminal, disgusting, they are not going to go and turn against the black person because he did something. When it comes to MK Ultra, schizophrenia always has an advantage. Schizophrenia is insurance, basically. It's like you would take the insurance that nothing can be happen to you for the crime you commit against a certain individual. That's insurance. That's a government insurance. They always run genocides like mine under pretext of the charity. Yeah, it was always about the charity, that I am for the charity, to help, please help for the charity reasons. And at the same time, they enforce crime against me through psychiatry and demanded for me to see myself in either this or that and so on and so forth. You know what I mean? You're not going to go and collectively condemn a certain group of people for the crimes committed against somebody like myself, as it was the case with the black people in the United States of America, throughout United States of America. But it will start to go collectively, will start to grow collectively into really more and more criminal, what you see have happened during the last elections in 2024. That's basically having people to choose in between absolute evil. That's a Kamala Harris, a Barack Obama #2, and Donald Trump. I think I have described this serial killer pretty damn good on my website, on my blog. I witnessed about who this guy is, how he became a showman, how he started his show, how his reality TV. No? If you don't understand how Donald Trump started with the reality TV, then you need to read this post here. That's all you need to do. How many people were killed. So he delivered the tapes to the United States of America. Literally in a Soviet Czech Republic during his visitations, when the Czech children would compete with one another as per who would kill more adults. That's where Donald Trump is coming from. Look, already the stuff I stated is the stuff that brought in Slovenia the so-called communists and the so-called opposition together, such as Janez Janša, Bučar, Pučnik, Peterle, Kacin, Baučar, etc., etc. If we will collectively lie, therefore kill, we will be capable to steal, and those that steal live very good. So that much for the message I left here. It's the message I definitely will follow through. I will retaliate for this severely. This is just the beginning. You know, this is just a lion awakening. One thing is for sure when it comes to the United States of America, you will never ever have any kind of excuse for your mindless lunacy crime you committed against me, the extermination procedure. You will go down the path as one of the worst nations, if not maybe the worst one on earth, that have committed literally the most atrocity against one single individual, yet you failed to shackle him against your constitution, against your Bill of Rights, against your civil rights, against your Department of Justice, your fucking state, U.S. Justice Department, against your liberties. This here is the message nobody ever managed to produce, but I did, with a complaint for which I have over half a century experience. I worked on this case as an investigator for no less than 53 years. I have more experience in law enforcement in investigation than any police officer in this world that ever lived. All I was asking for is for you to do the job. But you couldn't have done it. It was too much for you. With a lot of people such as Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, Hollywood, I don't know, Furry, Usyk, all kinds of, cretins involved in this stuff, with idea to privatize, to extort, to point to laws, to Constitution, to the Bill of Rights as a way, a new way a solution that based your, what exactly the fuck is it other than madness? You try to privatize something that you have no right to put hands on.